Hey man, it's Phil X, and you're watching Guitar Tales with Dave Cohen. And Guitar Tales, guitar tales. Like, what else do you need, right? Guitar. We're geeks, nerds, gear, inspirations, positive vibes. Look out.
Boy, oh boy, do we have a fantastic show tonight. So excited, so excited. But before we get to that, before we get to the great Joe Baracata and his phenomenal book that's out, an extra thanks to the wonderful Phil X. He's everywhere. He is literally everywhere, touring with Bon Jovi. We see him touring with Triumph. I'm pretty sure I've seen him on stage with Sammy Hagar and other pretty damn famous folks. So thank you so much for supporting us, Phil, with that great bumper that we have. And before we get to the wonderful Joe Baracata, who I think is a three-timer on our show, we got to pay the bills. So let's bring some of the wonderful folks from Asbury Park in, and we'll thank them again. Confections of a Rock Star. If you want to get a great bite to eat, a great snack over at Asbury Park, go to Confections of a Rock Star. It is fantastic. And by the way, you're listening to Scott Engel playing that amazing song right there. How great is that? And while you're in Confections of a Rock Star, get yourself a burger with Andy's Burgers. So good. So phenomenally good. Look at that. I want one right now. So does that little boy. So does the girl. They want to eat that. Pickles, cheesy fries, everything. Both on Cookman Avenue. Go there. Get them delicious. And that being said, why don't we pull Scott into the room, and then we'll pull Joe into the room.
And that's where the book release is happening in Cookman Avenue. And we'll hear more about that from Joe Baracata, who wrote a book. I mean, and he said he wrote a book. I'm like, how, what happened? It's like,
As did the promos. He's asking everyone. They're like, you did what?
It's like he said, oh, by the way, I'm a surgeon and I just operated on a dog, and that's fine, and it's recovery now, you know.
Yeah, I love the promo too. It's so good. The promo is so good.
We actually have the little promo, which I will play right now.
You've been asking me what my new book is about, so you will enjoy this book if your interests align with
people skills,
Jersey Shore music scene, personal growth,
drinking stories,
motivation, comedy, life lessons,
leadership development,
Van Halen,
self-help,
live performance,
authors,
that's the perfect one.
Travel,
management development,
Springsteen, overcoming obstacles, business skills,
Autobiography,
live music,
nights out, sales development, Bon Jovi,
heavy metal,
guitar, drumming, network marketing, music stories.
Yeah, a lot going on there. I think we should just get started with this. So
He's a pro. Let's bring the pro in.
I was able to read the book this afternoon in one sitting. It was an easy read, and lots of similarities between Joe's life and my life. Not only are we both bald guys, but there'll be some other things we'll talk about. Welcome to the show, Joe.
What's up, guys? That was a great intro, man. I feel like a somebody.
You are.
You are somebody.
So how's that dog doing in recovery? The surgery that you've I mean,
surgeries.
You could have. I was so stunned. I mean, not that I didn't think you had it in you, but I mean, to write a book is how did you just say I'm going to write a book? That's and
yeah.
How did you get in touch with a publisher and all that stuff? Anybody could say I'm going to write a book, but then to actually do it and put it in hardcover and everything is
right. I've been told this by the woman that edited my book, but you know, I was watching Joe Rogan one day just randomly, and Lionel Richie was on, and I mean, who watches a 3-hour Joe Rogan podcast? But I actually did.
He
plugged his book at the end, And as you read in the book, like my mom was a huge Commodores fan, and I always loved Lionel Richie. So he plugged his audiobook. So I like audiobooks now. I mean, I do read books still, but I walk in the morning, I'm jogging, whatever I'm doing at the gym. So his audiobook was like 15 hours. It's long as hell. But
Like
within like the
Bruce's.
second, within like the second chapter, I just literally like said, I got a lot of stories. I mean, I'm not a celebrity. You know, I don't have like, it's not Motley Crue the Dirt. I mean, I tried to make it PG-13 so my kids don't hate me. I do have kids, you know. But you know, it just made me think, what the hell? I started jotting ideas down, and strangely, you know, as I mentioned in the book, I've definitely done a lot of drinking in my life, and the fact that I remember all this stuff, I have like an elephant memory, and I just started like talking ideas into my phone. And then I
Okay.
reached out to a woman named Carol on Instagram that, you know, we're friendly online. And I just randomly said, she just, for some reason, I had a feeling she'd know how to edit it. And I just said, hey, I'm writing a book. Would you help me edit it? And, you know, it's funny because she started editing it. You know, you got to make me sound like a guinea from Staten Island. You know, I got to sound like me, you know.
Yeah,
So
right,
every
right.
once in a while, she'd like put some really nice words in there that, of course, I understand. But I'm like, Carol, we got to make this authentic, you know. So, um, and I'm the type of person, if I a lot of the book is about getting out of your comfort zone. So to me, it's like, well, I never did a book. Let me check that list. I
Yeah.
thrive on people saying like, can I curse?
Yeah.
You could fucking
You know,
curse.
to me, if people say, "Who the fuck does he think he is?" Have a book, write a book. I always just say, read it. You might think different because we did send it out to a lot of people, and you know, it's very hard for me to judge it because it's my life basically.
Right.
So I can't say if it's good or not, but it really got overwhelmingly good reviews. And like you said, it's an easy read. Like my brother's an author, and he said Dan Lilica of Nuclear Assault. He did like a 90-page book. I had no idea this book was going to be 177 pages. So, and I banged it out in 3 weeks because wedding season starts in May. So I
Right.
Right.
literally stood there like this. I got carpal tunnel for like 3 weeks.
Oh
I was like,
God.
son of a bitch. I was like, what the hell, man? And then you know, and then it was done. And then Carol edited it, and now,
How ironic. He's
you
working
know,
on typing a book and he can't play the guitar that pays the
oh,
bills.
Yeah.
dude, I did some gigs. But you ever play with numb hands? Like
Oh
you're
yeah.
riffing, but you don't feel your hands, and it went away, thank God.
Now, what
Yeah.
was your process? So, like, you know, like I actually wrote a failed screenplay that got laughed out of Hollywood, literally laughed out of Hollywood. So I know a thing or three about it, but unlike you, I never got it published or anything. But would you do like an hour a day? Was it like I'm going to go 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.? What did you
Oh,
do?
I'm obsessive compulsive. Is that what it's called? Like when I do
Yeah.
something, it's like, you know, the horse blinders are on.
Yep. Yep.
I think I drove my wife crazy. Like I don't think of nothing. I don't even eat. I just banged it out. I don't do anything without maybe buying a book or two. Just like I bought a book on writing memoirs, and honestly, like
Okay.
a lot of it was like, you know, typical. But you know, if you spend $15 on a book and you get two good nuggets out of it, and
Oh
trust
yeah.
Yeah.
those two good nuggets were worth $500 because it made me change the way I was writing. Like if you
Okay.
notice when you read the book, originally it was like, and one day I was born on. So it literally reads like, a lot of people told me it reads like a movie. It's very fast paced.
Yeah.
It doesn't harp on the same thing, but it moves fast. And you know, most of the book is a music book, but I wanted it to be and also a like personal development business book because it really does talk about how I built this band into a business. And you know, there was a point in my life I was making 15,000 a month in this energy sales business, and when I realized like it wasn't going the way I thought it would go, like I guess I opened my mouth and I talked and I got terminated. And like
Wow.
I like to say my integrity cost me probably $1 million of sit on your ass residual money. So I had to reinvent myself. I quit my day job and I was sitting there counting change in like 2015 going, I'm just playing bars and the bars are capped, you know, make a certain amount of money.
Right.
And when you're that age, who's going to hire like a 6-year-old guy, you know? So the book has a lot of ups and downs.
And that's, you know, that's where I was like, you caught my attention because, you know, I started off playing drums like you. Started playing guitar like you. Didn't want to sing like you. I mean, it was crazy. And then, Dad was a musician, and we all had dreams of being rock stars. And I wrote some songs, and I try to get them published. And I worked with a couple of blues legends to see if they wanted to buy my songs. And we all try to become famous if we can. But then I began to realize, like you did, do I really want to be famous?
Yeah, well,
And I was in pharmacy school, and my father's like, "Look, pills pay the bills. If you want to do like music on the side, I don't know if I would make it a career because
Right.
look at this guy, he got lucky, and this guy got lucky. Meanwhile, all our friends that we knew who got lucky are millionaires.
Right.
Frankie Previtt, who got lucky with, he had Frankie and the Knockouts, he had a record deal and all this stuff, and Tico was the drummer of that band. Of course, he went on to play with Bon Jovi, and he got lucky, like he got a record deal, and then he quit that band, and he got another, like he he got lucky twice, which is nearly impossible. It's like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like, we're all similar in age when you grow up. And, as I mentioned in the book, like opening up that Kiss Alive album, you're like, you're mesmerized as a kid. It's like a horror.
Yeah, it's intoxicating. It's
It
and
is.
you really want to do it.
A lot of the people I know that got record deals really didn't make any money. And like my old band, when they got their deal, I remember I was like, the depression. Here I am singing American Girl, and these guys are in Germany touring. I was like, wow, I fucked up. Like what? But they made no money in that. I mean, it was like, so a lot of people that get record deals back in those days, getting a record deal is one thing. Actually making a dime is so it's
Yeah.
everything's like level. So it's like you're the unsigned band, like the band Prophet,
Right.
Taiketo.
Yep.
These bands made it, and I mean, sadly, I was good friends with Brooke. You read in the book, Taiketo sold 70,000 albums. That's
Mm.
they had a major label on Geffen.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, the Bon Jovis are like the unicorns, like the Bruce
Right.
or all those guys.
It is.
We come from an area where it's loaded with talent, and
Yeah.
it seemed to me, even at that age in the early '80s when I was in college, I would see and working in a radio station every week. All these promotional records, would come to the studio. People you never heard of, and I saw, oh, this guy Bon Jovi's from New Jersey. That's interesting. And then I found out that I knew one of the guys, and I knew one of those guys, and he knew another guy.
Did you go to Did you go to Seton Hall?
No, University of Rhode Island.
Oh, I was just asking because that one, in the book, I was in more of an '80s hair metal rock band, and then we morphed into like the Deftones, Pantera kind of band.
Yeah.
Right.
And that band was charting nationally because WSOU, and I remember my drummer was a great marketer. I'm like, Mike, how are we charting nationally in these magazines? He goes, because SOU is so powerful. Isn't that wild?
It is wild.
Jersey radio station. We had a song called Judgment Day that I mentioned in the book. Like Rob Halford loved that. He literally came up to us and said, I almost fainted. Like,
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Grew up as 11-year-old.
Nice to be recognized.
Yeah. Especially
Janarone,
from a legend like
our
that.
mutual friend Tom Janarone always says, this area was full of massive talent. There were so many almost Bon Jovis and so many almost Bruce Springsteens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So many, and
So many.
and a lot of the guys are still playing and still making records and stuff.
And if you remember the book, I don't harp on it, but I do make a note of it. I'm originally from New York, so all my original music, I spent my life in Brooklyn. L'Amour's was the place to play.
Yeah.
We opened, like, dude, I met Nuno Betancourt before anyone knew who he was.
Right.
Wow.
And we opened, you name it, we opened for there because Taiketo's manager, and then Life of Agony, Typo Negative's manager. So, I was on the cusp of making it for like 7 years. And then I come down here and literally, I mean, my accent is a little better now, but you go to a bar and you go, hey, my name's Joe Baracata. Could I get a beer? Everyone literally looked at me like, what fucking planet are you from, jerk-off?
Yeah.
And I sort of say to the band now, the fact that I think we've done pretty well. I'm not complaining. But the fact that we've seen any success with an unpronounceable name, and most of us are implants. We're not Jersey people.
Right.
It's almost astonishing in itself. Because when I was younger, I just couldn't be stopped. I had such a drive. It was like,
Your reviews online for your band, I was looking at those today, just wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. You guys are beloved. Think of the memories that you helped build. I was just not in, but at a wedding this weekend. I'm very happy for the young couple. But you're there helping build memories for people as they just are beginning to build a life, you know?
That's why I called it the party business. I mean, if you're in a cover band, you're not playing to these guys. Scott knows it. You guys, play the solo.
Yeah.
You're playing
Yeah.
to the drunk guy that wants to have a party. So
Right.
we're all in the
The
party.
thing I did like about the wedding band, when I was in a wedding band for a good 8 years, talk about a real wedding band name, and we just did weddings. That was it. Reflections.
That is a good wedding band
We
name.
played all the marble floored places and snuffies and Scotch plains.
I mean,
and all that stuff. So,
it's
but
funny.
you've got a captive audience,
Mhm.
and they want to party and they're not going home. So it's pretty cool. Like, everybody's really into it, and
Weddings are great, and most of the bands down the shore that, especially the older bands that have been around for. I mean, we've been in our band for 25 years. None of us started out saying, "I want to do a wedding." That was almost
Right.
like fuck that. And like now, kids come out of college and they're starting wedding bands. It's just a different world. But what I learned with the weddings, and I really, if you notice, the book really elevates to how we built it to a wedding band. And I spent 5 years like so immersed in personal development. I mean, you name the kind of book, like any spiritual book, business book, all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
And like there's a saying, like if you're a salesman, people will buy from someone they like, not from someone that's overly knowledgeable. So
Oh yeah.
weddings, the reason why I think we get such good reviews is I treat my couples like gold, because I wouldn't be able to put gas in my car unless they said, "Hey, can you sing at my wedding?" So
Right.
there's some vendors that are like, this fucking couple's calling me every day. Like, to me, it's like, what do you like? I have perspective of being a mailman. I used to be told when to go to lunch. You get
Right.
written up because you didn't put your signal on. So once I got in like a free world of like, I own my band. Like it's like a brand, whatever you want to call it. I don't take it for granted, because if you do, you'll lose it.
That makes perfect sense. And it's a great attitude too. And I love, like the fact that kind of wisdom just extends to all professions. So, whether someone's being voyeuristic, like, who isn't in the biz, or someone like Scott who's reading, who is in the biz, right? The life's lessons that you've put together, including, and I want to spend a little bit of time talking about how you had to reinvent yourself, because you alluded to it before. But there's all sorts of nuggets of wisdom to talk about there.
Well, I try to, even with my editor Carol. I feel like my editor Carol.
That sounds pretty cool, my editor.
Every
Wait,
time I sent her a chapter, I just said, please make sure there's enough life lesson business nuggets in there, because I don't want it just to be like, I got fucked up and did eruption in American Girl. Like, it's not that kind of book. I think that's why when
Yeah.
people read it, they're like, oh, I was expecting like Motley Crue, The Dirt. It does have its dirty, fucked up stories in there.
I was actually expecting it to be more of a business book, and not so many stories and stuff. But you talk about your mom and your dad, and that was very emotional reading. I just lost my dad not too long ago, and it was just fantastic, and all the stories. AJ, the drummer from Twisted Sister, beating the crap out of your drums and stuff.
Brand new heads at a 9-piece kit, and
Yeah.
I'm 16 years old. I mean, I didn't have money. He's over there beating the shit out. I'm like, this is great. That is, they were still Twisted Sister. They were maybe starting to decline.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just, those experiences. Like, I didn't even really get too crazy into all the touring with Typo Negative. Like, there is a backstage Pantera story, which was phenomenal. I mean, trust me, I kept that PG-13. Those guys are all strippers. Like,
Yeah.
that backstage party was as raunchy as you can imagine. It was insane. And I'm like a 22-year-old kid going, and I like to party. So I always remember going, shit, if I ever made it, I wouldn't have made it out of my 30s.
Right.
I would have probably overindulged. It's almost like there's a quote in the book from a fighter, Ilya Taporia. It says something like, if God didn't let your plan go through, it's because your plan would have ruined you.
Oh, I like that.
And I remember when
Yeah.
I saw that, I was like, that makes sense for my life. Like, God might have said, well, this kid can't handle rock stardom because he'll be 6 feet under like so
Yeah.
many other people.
It's true.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's something you said earlier that I wanted to comment on in a really good way. You know, we shouldn't. I'll use a crazy word. Axiomatically, we shouldn't axiomatically
Hang
just
on, I gotta
assume
Google it.
because they make because they make a couple of bucks, right? That they're happier than say the three of us, right? Um, I know so many people who have sort of a financially modest life and are happy and they're fulfilled, they're physically healthy, they take care of themselves. And in my world, I've met a million lawyers. That's what I do for a living. And I've met so many miserable, financially successful lawyers, way more successful than I am financially, not as a human being more successful, but and there's so many miserable, wealthy, successful people. So in terms of the barometer of how we test our success, like I'm, you've been on the show a few times. I've met you in person. You seem like a good, happy, fulfilled man. That's success.
I mean, I am now. I mean, I
Yeah.
mentioned it in the book, and I don't want to give away the ending of it because I did try to tie it in at the end with the title.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, without a doubt. I mean, listen, it's the oldest saying in the world: money definitely doesn't bring happiness. I know a lot of people, a lot of money, and no one likes them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, what's the ultimate goal in life? Health and happiness, right?
And you do talk in the book, relationships, band relationships too, which is really great. You could have the greatest musician, player, but if there's no chemistry there personally, it's really tough. And that was a really good segment
Yeah.
too.
Did you read the part? I hope I can quote my own book. I think it's
Mm.
Dizzy Gillespie when they asked him, "Who's someone you'd want to tour with?" And his answer was, "Someone I can have coffee with the next morning."
Yeah.
So
Mm.
you could be the greatest player. If you're an asshole, you're with these people 24/7.
Yeah.
And, so our band has always been, it like self regulates. I mentioned like you learn more from shitty leaders and managers than you do from the good ones. So I always said to myself, if I ever put something together where I lead it, and even Paul Stanley mentions like if there's not a leader in anything, it's a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
It
Right.
really is. You need like one person, but if the leader's not good, it doesn't last long. So I really pride myself on, if you look at my band, I don't have like a different drummer every 6 months, every 4 years. Like I like getting the same guys because when we play, we're like a machine. I don't like fill-ins. I mean, if it is what it is. Sometimes you have to have a fill-in,
Yeah.
but it goes to like it's like people care how you treat them more than how great you are. So I think as a
Mhm.
band leader for me in music, I treat my band like family. I treat them with respect. And listen, they know, like when we do weddings, I'm the first one there. You know how many wedding venues? I won't say the names, but they go, "What are you doing here? You're the band leader." Those other guys show up 3 minutes
All
before the wedding
right.
starts. And I'm like, I'd fucking have a nervous breakdown. I want to be the first guy out, by end of the wedding. I'm like,
Uh,
I run out of there, but I get there early, so my
Yeah.
band knows like I can riff, I can play, I know what an A flat major chord is. Like there's some leaders out there, band leaders, and I've known them. They're not even musicians and they're like band leaders.
I gotta pay a big compliment here. Don't be embarrassed. But when we had played at Tommy's house that time, we were just jamming. My expectation of Joe Baracata as musician, I already knew Joe outside of the band and work and stuff, and he lived in the town I worked in, and we would chit chat and stuff. So, but I knew he was a musician. I know he had this band, and I knew he was a cover band guy. I know he was a wedding band guy. I didn't expect the level of musicianship he brought to that jam was staggering, absolutely staggering. I put the guitar down and was playing drums. I was like, he's blowing me away. Van Halen licks? Are you kidding?
We were doing like Dio and
Ridiculous, just
Iron
ridiculous.
Maiden,
Off the
fucking
top
Still
of
at
his head,
Night.
just playing all this stuff. I did not expect that coming from a wedding band guy.
I mean, as a kid, I wasn't a bad kid, but I wasn't a good kid. I was like a wise ass. So I was always
right.
punished. But my dad never took my guitar away. So there were weekends that I was literally confined to my little room. And
Yeah.
what do? You just go, you know, and like you just,
Right.
and you know, I mentioned in the book that, and it's something like, you know, it's weird. A lot of the books I read, I would always go, "Oh shit, I sort of did that, but I didn't know I was doing that." You know, like early on, like when I heard of Ron Bumblefoot, real name Ron Blumenthal, he's a year
Yeah.
older than me. We're hearing like chatter, like, "Dude, there's this kid that plays eruption backwards," and like, what the fuck? So like, I took lessons from him. I mean, it was almost just to hear him play, and
Right.
then, you know, and I played with a guitar player named Guy, and I went back to drums just to put a band together. But I knew if I'm around better players, like Guy and Ron made me better players because I was in a cover band with Ron for like 4 years. Can you imagine Ron going, "Fuck you, I won't do," he's singing, I'm playing guitar. Ron
Yeah.
was on bass. I lived with Ron for 2 months. So, you know, like to me, like I think even as a lawyer, as whatever you do, if you're the best in the room, you're in the wrong room. If
Oh
you want to
yeah.
grow, if you want to become better, if you want to be the big dog,
Oh my
then get
God.
around little
No,
dogs.
then you're a narcissist.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had in my lawyering experience, you know, I was giving a lecture for 100 lawyers, and I went after a guy named Ken. I'll think of his last name in a minute, who was floated to become the governor of Virginia, and it was and his presence. It's like he was 15 feet tall, and I'm like, oh fuck, I got to talk after him, you know. And he had like the thick head of white hair and the presence and the southern accent, and yeah, way better than I. And he became my friend, and that made me a better lawyer. Just talking to him about the law and how to help people and the public speaking. You know, I love the challenge of coming after someone who's one of the best live speakers I've ever heard. Ken Connor is his name. He's wonderful.
Okay.
And he just wonderful lawyer, wonderful guy. He had a string of, I don't know, like 5, 7, and 8-figure verdicts in a row, like that level of guy.
Oh wow.
Like people in California call, "Come try this case in California," that kind of guy. And I loved it. I loved the challenge, and not as good a speaker as Ken, but you know, it makes me a better person and a
Yeah.
better lawyer. And he's a humble man. That's the other thing. The people who are that good are humble.
In your younger days, and I know this answer for myself. I'm just curious what your take is on it. When you were a younger musician in your 20s and you're playing drums or playing guitar or whatever, do you felt more competitive? Were you worried about what the other guy was up to? I'm like,
Well,
I'm
by the
better
ti-
than him, or were you
by the
learning
time I
from
hit
the guys that
18,
were better? Or were you more competitive? I was more of a competitive guy.
when I hit 18, I was done with drums. I was like, I joined a band with older guys, which I loved because I was like the little, you know, I really learned from them. But I mean, dude, we grew up in the 80s and 90s, and of course, you know, we were in the deal. Like, I remember Brooke from Taiketo when and he's not from New York. I think he's from like the Midwest. He called me up one day and he's like, "Hey man, come on over, let's jam." And like the whole band lived in a house, and we would sit there and literally me and him just play for like 4 hours.
Right.
And then and he would say to me, he goes, "Dude, I love the way you improvise in front of like 1,000 people." He's like, "I can't do that." So, you know, it's like but me and him, like there was even a little competitiveness with me and him as friends. So, you know,
Right.
and I remember seeing Ron like 4 years later. 4 years later, when me and Ron became more like friends and started a cover band, I played for him. He goes, "Fuck, everyone's good now." Like the way he said that. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
nobody was as good as him. He
Right.
just meant everyone can go, you know, and fucking
Right,
riff
right.
kind of thing. But yeah, without a doubt, it was a very, very competitive. I remember this band playing L'Amour's from Florida, and it might have been even before Mr. Big. And you know, like
The
and everyone,
line.
and like they're both doing it in harmony, and it was like that was the pinnacle of like we're gonna be better, you know.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then obviously Nirvana came in. It was like, put your guitar down, fuck your guitar solos, you know.
Right.
And the whole that whole scene died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really did. It died like overnight.
Yeah, but I think the competitiveness is more of a younger person thing. I think as you get older, you know,
Mhm.
you look at someone play, and like now I'd be like, listen, like you could be better than someone and learn something from them.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot of guys that I might have a way better technique, but I'm like, what are you doing there? I never thought of doing a lick like that. You know, so guitar, and I do say in the book, when I was a drummer, Scott was a guitar player, and his brother said to me, I was probably 11. It was like a mesmerizing thing because it's true. He goes, if you can sing it, you can play it. I go, what do you mean? He goes,
Oh yeah, you got to be able to scat.
so,
Yeah.
well, that, and it goes for playing too. So I always thought like, all right, it's maybe too complex. Let me slow it down and sing it. But it was just a good, like that's the only nugget he ever gave me because we were like the peckerhead younger kids, like, and
Right.
like he's like, all right, kid, you can use my drums, but be out of here in 2 hours, kind of thing.
At
I love it.
my age now, it's like I look at all these guys on YouTube and girls. I mean, everybody. I mean, it's just some of them. It's really phenomenal stuff, and I become inspired. I don't try to copy their licks per se, but I get inspired. Like, oh, that's an interesting choice. I wouldn't play it that way, But right now, I'm sort of trapped in the way I always play, and it was Phil X actually. He probably doesn't even know this, but when he was on our show, he's saying like I was using the whammy bar too much. I took the whammy bar off, and it made me do other things to compensate for that, and it changes the style of playing entirely. And
it's funny you say that.
It helped me too.
My neck went out. I had 3 vertebrae go out. So my bass player found me my guitar I play now. It's a hollow body Telly,
right?
And it originally had single coils in it. So you play a humbucker, that thing does everything for you. So that guitar actually made me play different. But, I broke my hand in 2020. So that, like, I play to about 80, 90% of my potential. There's still shit I just can't do anymore. But I'm more into, like, guitar. I like feel. So to me, I notice, like, take Eddie Van Halen, for example. There's a million guys that have his chops, but there's a minuscule amount of guys that just have his feel.
Right.
Oh, and even Yngwie. I mean, I picked up an amp today. We spoke about Yngwie, and the guy goes, "I can't listen to Yngwie." I go, I get it, because he just grows up all the time. I go, but when that first album came out, you listen to Black Star. All the guys that copied Yngwie, they didn't get the main thing, and his vibrato and tone. So when he plays, he's like. Like, to me, music's emotion. That's why, I think it's Icarus Dream Suit. It's obviously a classical piece, but that piece, we're doing it Stone Pony show. I told my keyboard player, I'm fucking doing that, man. I don't care who gets it. Like, I wanted to do that since 1984, And he's like, what the hell song is that? I was like, just follow me on the changes. But it's so emotional. Like, you can listen to it. You can see how few hundred years ago when there was no distractions, you can just sit there in a room and, be like engulfed in the emotion of the musical piece. So to me, like Instagram and YouTube is just full of kids going, blah. It's just like, honestly, like, I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's like, holy shit, but they don't learn the basics anymore. Or,
I definitely gravitate to bluesy players and people with feel than the speed demons.
Like, to me, Eddie's like the perfect guitar player. He has a mixture of it all.
Right.
I like Eddie on rhythm better than lead.
Oh,
that's 100%. My favorite Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much.
We should mention Joe does a Van Halen show. I guess it's going to be like once a year now, right? You think?
Pretty much. And last year I played drums on it. I must have been out of my mind because I'm not in drum shape. But believe it or not, and in my band, I'm not a stickler. I'm not like, you're playing that wrong. But to me, if we're going to do a Van Halen show, let's fucking do it right.
Right.
Yeah.
So no disrespect to any drummers that ever played with us, but I'm first and foremost an Alex guy. I grew up a drummer. So I didn't learn a Van Halen lick really to like learn till years later. And I was like, oh fuck, that's what Eddie's doing. Like, pretty cool. Because my technique was good enough to figure it out. But there's a million guys that do a decent Eddie. It's impossible to find an Alex. And I'm not saying I do him great, but and what does that say about Alex Van Halen?
Yeah,
he's the most underrated drummer in history.
I mean, did you see that thing on Drumeo had where they took apart the Hot for Teacher lick?
Oh yeah,
I saw that.
Even Lost of Control. The guy John that plays in A Farewell to Kings, Johnny Vines, insane drummer, this kid. He texts me, holy fucking shit, Lost of Control. He goes, I'm going to need a month and a half to learn this. This is a guy that's pulling off Rush in his sleep. And I was like, I told you, Alex is just like,
They're a fantastic tribute band. If you don't
Oh,
know them,
they're great.
check them out. Are they
like-
local? Are they from Jersey or New York?
Yeah, Jersey guys.
Yeah. Right. We should have them on, Dave. Incredible.
Oh, I would love that.
Talk about
I'll give you
talk
the
about nailing Rush. Exactly.
To a
It's
T.
phenomenal.
Not only that, if you're gearheads, they got about $500,000 of vintage Rush.
Oh my
gear.
God.
It's insane.
Oh, I would love. Well, I'm seeing Rush in a couple of weeks. I'm very excited.
Yeah, the actual Rush.
Yeah.
From what I've seen everywhere, they're the most unique Rush sounding band.
Oh, I would
Like,
love
they
to see them.
You know, they're appealing to like the people that want it perfect.
Right.
And
Oh, I like
they do a
that.
great job at it.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It looks like they're just playing. They just looks like they put a record on and just are just
And did you see his drum
have their
set?
amps turned off.
It's the exact,
Yeah.
moving pictures kit. Like,
Yeah, it's
I think he
that's
has
great.
28 drum mics.
wow.
Well, one of the origins of this show was Scott. I was listening to what was the thing on Sirius XM Volume, that show, and they had the 4 VJs from MTV. They had Jackson and whoever it was, but it was Sirius XM. I'm driving on I-95, and on a whim, I call them and I get through, and I just said YYZ or Frankenstein, and they're like, "What?" And I said, YYZ or Frankenstein. I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah.
And then it went nowhere. But that's what led to creating this show, was that very phone call.
Oh wow.
But I will take YYZ over Frankenstein.
I tell you, if you think about Rush,
Yeah.
I mean, when I was to me, like, there's no better trio ever. Or
No.
like I love one day I might have been drunk, but one day I'm sitting and I'm listening to like Rush, and when I'm sure you guys like me, when I listen, it's on fucking 1,000, and I'm like 12 years old again, and I text Johnny, I go, dude, I love Van Halen. I go, they might be the best band ever. I was like, if you just listen to like, just the way, I mean, 3 guys making all that sound, like,
Oh my
and if
God.
you look at the intricacy of it, like, not only is Neil Peart possibly one of the best drummers ever, he's writing these insane lyrics. The guy reads.
Oh my God.
He used to read like 20 books a month.
Wow.
Like, he was so out there from anyone else in rock and roll history. And then you got Geddy Lee, doing 3 things. It's just like, I love Van Halen. They're my favorite band, but I mean, Rush might even be better than Zeppelin. I mean, and Zeppelin to me is
I think a musician's brain, and we know this by seeing a couple of YouTube guys that take these tracks and bust them up into little pieces. We're gonna have JJ Blair on. We're gonna do a Who show, and he's gonna come on, and we're gonna dissect things.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
But he's really cool. He's got all this equipment. And he's able to dissect like a little cowbell noise. Like now it really sticks out when I hear that goofy 70s song. I'm like, oh, now I can hear the 2 different tones.
Speaking of being goofy,
whatever.
When you had Ron on, I know Ron. Like, we don't talk anymore, but I know him very well.
Well, yeah, if you spend that much time, especially with
I knew he was going to go on and play some cheesy ass fucking 80s song and dissect it. And I love your comment. You're like, of all things, he dissects, and he showed, like, he's like that. He'll take every part,
do
it backwards.
He was going to do a gig with Spandau Ballet in Europe or something. Like, you?
That's what it was. Yeah.
He's, no, that song's way more complicated than you think. And then when I listened to it after the show, I put on that goddamn song.
Yeah.
And he's right. There's so much going on in there.
There's a lot of 80s songs that just, maybe I know how I was when I was a kid. If it didn't have distortion and it didn't have a guy, like, I didn't listen to it. I knew it was music.
Yeah.
And I got it. But as I got older, I'd be like, wow, that really is a great song. Like,
well, the other similarity between you and I is that the musically in the disco era, didn't care. I gravitated towards fusion and Yes and all that kind of stuff and Rush, right? And then even in the early 80s, I was listening to Al Di Meola like you are.
Oh yeah.
I was listening to all that kind of stuff. Even Maynard Ferguson, big band stuff. Talk about nerdy music that nobody was listening to.
But that's like a musician. I remember going to the mall with like a bunch of rocker chicks, and they're like, "What are you buying?" And I'm like, "What are you buying?" They're like, "Too Fast for Love." I'm like, "Fuck that!" I'm like, "Al Di Meola Casino, come on!" Like, to this day, that's I think that's the greatest instrument. You ever hear listen to that album, guys. Al Di Meola Casino.
Yeah.
I have one of his albums on vinyl upstairs.
You know what's
I don't know
great
which
about it?
one.
When people think of Al Di Meola, they think Ingve. Like,
Yeah.
it's
No, he's
so.
no.
But this album, I think, is his most musical album he ever put out.
All right, I'm gonna check it out because I don't even know. I have one. I just thought it would make me cool to be like a little different when I was, in middle or maybe young high school.
Yeah, I was listening to Billy Cobham records and Return to Forever, Lenny White.
that's why
because I was
it's
primarily a drummer then. I was gravitating towards.
it's because of
Lenny
you
White
that
and
I
Cobham.
own that shit, Scott.
Probably, yeah.
Because I have a Billy Cobham album too. It's all because
God,
of you.
I remember when I was younger, my drum teacher would come over, and we wouldn't even play the drums. We'd sit at the table and we'd write the drum notation. So he goes, "Do you like the Police?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're all right." He goes, "Well, you always tell me what you're going to learn. You're going to learn something." I think it was Your Future. I'm thinking it was that song.
Yeah.
Do you know the intro hi-hat section? We wrote it out. It was like 50 pages.
Wow.
Because nothing and he, I didn't know then he's winging it all.
Right.
And my drum teacher made me write it out. And the next week he'd come over and go, "Now play it." And like what that did for me, it's amazing when you have a good teacher. What that did for me is it made me, when I learn a song now and I write it out, even guitar, it'll take me years to forget it because it's like fucking tattooed.
Oh yeah, right. That makes sense.
Yeah, like I don't just, I'll make a chord chart or I'll go over stuff. And obviously the more complex the song is, you might forget it. But especially as a drums, because drums is all math, it's like 16 bars here, 18 bar verse or whatever it is. But
that makes
I'm a big fan of musical choices. That's something that I didn't learn till much later, unfortunately. Like, you might say, you're a drummer, right? You're way into drums. You're into Neil Peart. You're into Billy Cobham. You're into this kind of thing. And then somebody goes, "Well, Ringo's fantastic drummer." And you're like, "Get out of here with the Ringo." But then when you understand the choices of what he's doing, which is completely like a normal drummer wouldn't play it that way.
Right.
Yeah, it took me years to appreciate.
And all of a sudden you go, you know what? He is fantastic.
And it's wild.
It's not about speed. It's about the musical choices and the pocket and all that kind of stuff.
Well, to me, it's like tasteful. It's like hearing like playing Tasty, which Ringo is the king of, even Charlie Watts. But I know, and if you think about it, if you go to Berkeley or any music school, they make you take another instrument, and I figured out why by default. So when I was a drummer, all I cared about was like how loud I am, blah, blah, blah. Once I became a guitar player, I started realizing, oh, that's why my guitar player used to be like, you got to, he would hear different things. And then when I became I became a guitar player, and I realized just by being a guitar player, I became a mentally better drummer.
Right.
And then by becoming a singer, I became a better overall musician, because how many times have you heard bands go, "The fucking guitar player is so loud and he overplays when I'm singing the verse."
Right.
Right.
So when you sing, like when I gig right now, believe it or not, my voice is the loudest I hear. And then my guitar, but it makes you, I think the more instruments you do, by learning another instrument, you now have a different perspective of the other instrument.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
lucky in that respect too, because I played bass, I played drums, I played guitar, I sing.
Yeah.
So I'm very conscious of what other people in the band are doing because I've been there. Right. I understand what they're going through.
Like I've had two drummers in my band, Pat and now Ryan. And Ryan will tell you, I'm like a stickler for like certain things on the drums. And when I go see cover bands, like I'm probably the most prudy with drums. Like I saw a band play Carry On Your Wayward Son. And I'm like, I said to Janaron, how does he know it's not doom doom carry? Always remember carry and I ease on them. And Tom's like, you hear that fucking shit? I'm like, drummer, that's the best part of the song, because it's the one part you get to do something cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I hear little things that I learned as a kid, I'm like, why didn't he sit down and chart the song?
I've been trying to get Tom to play the drums funkier for Joy to the World.
Right.
Believe it or not, in that song, there's like a couple of extra bass drum beats here and there that gives it this little funk feel. And I'm trying to. It's like I don't have time to learn that shit. I'm just gonna play it straight.
You know how many drummers don't play You Shook Me All Night Long correctly. It's
Mm.
just goom, got, goom, got, goom, got, goom, got. Next time you watch in a band, he's gonna go goom, got, goom, goom, got. Goom.
Right.
And it's like that one little thing, that's the groove. Goom, got, goom,
Yeah.
got, goom, got. And I'm always like, did they not grow up to this song? Like to me, if I
Yeah.
grew up to a song that
Yeah.
I've heard 17,000 times, I can go up in any band and play it pretty close, you know? But
Yeah.
for me, it's those little nuanced things that
Right.
separate musicians. I'm not saying who sucks and who's great, but I think it's the little things that separate
I like
really,
the
really
attention.
good
I like
players.
the attention to detail. Yeah. In
Yeah,
fact, I
what's
talked about this on the last show. After years and years and years, I learned how to play Smoke on the Water properly.
It's fourths, right? He plays fourths, right? Not like
It's
fifths.
way up on the neck.
Did you ever see
what
the video? It's
Yeah.
Beethoven's fifth backwards.
Yeah.
You ever seen
what's
that video?
the
That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does talk about that. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
he
that
said I
video.
took Beethoven and reversed it.
Yeah, it's
Right.
a little. I'm a little. We've talked about that on this show. He's a little pretentious in that
Oh
video.
yeah.
Yeah.
If
I mean, he had
That's
Dio
a-
in the band, and he, treated
yeah.
Dio like shit.
Yeah.
What's the my favorite Boston song? We're just a little band out of Boston, going to try to make ends
Yeah.
meet. That the drumming in that,
That's the one that goes. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's one of those songs. What's the name of that song? I think it's the word rock in it. I forget.
Rock
I'll
and
think
roll.
of it. Rock. I think it,
Roll band,
everybody's right. Yeah,
That's
that.
it. Yeah.
But if there's a syncopated beat in there that if I were listening to that song live and they didn't give you that, I'd be horrendously disappointed. It's just what you're talking.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
got
tough thing
this-
about being a see, like even Alex Van Halen mentions it in his book. His dad would tell them, if you make a mistake, don't ever let anyone know because they don't know. You're playing for the 99%. The
Yeah,
99% are gonna pay you to play. The 1% of the instrument guys, the band guys,
that would be
not
me.
they're
Yeah,
not gonna buy you a book. They're not gonna go see you cover charge if you play somewhere,
Yeah.
So you're playing
Yeah.
for the regular folks.
I know, and
It
it's
took me
fun because
years
when
to
you
learn that, by the way. It
yeah,
took
I
me
bet.
years to learn that people would rather see me go Brandy, Brandy, and sing like an idiot running around than me like do this fucking banging guitar solo.
Right.
It took
Yeah.
me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd be the only one who would notice, other than a musician.
Right. Most
you
people
know.
really don't notice.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting for that. I literally will put that song on just to hear that syncopated beat, and then I could, okay, all right, I'm done. I'm happy.
I got
but
to, I got to the point with the band and the business of it. If someone called me when we get off the phone and said, "Hey Joe, we love your band. We have a crazy concept. We don't know if you do it because I don't think you will. We'll pay you X amount of money. We want you to play American Girl and Sweet Caroline for 3 hours straight." You know what I'd say? Could I drink a little? Yeah. Done.
right.
And I would have I would have the funnest gig of my life because
Right.
I learned to I have no emotional attachment to any song I play. I know the reactions they play. So when I talk to wedding couples and we're going over their songs, I let them know that, like, when I get in my car, I'm not going to listen to anything we play, nor do I maybe like it or not like it, like Love Shack. I mean, but
Right.
I know the reaction they get. So if your goal is to have the greatest dance party and have every age group dancing and people, the reviews that you've read going, nobody left the dance floor in all age groups, then you got to allow the Sweet Carolines, maybe the Celebrations, or
Yeah.
because a lot of times couples like give me no playlist, and I'm like, why'd you hire us? I'm like, you took out all the crowd pleasers, and usually like they'll go, all right, Joe, we trust you.
I put it over your face, Joe. I'm sorry, I was plugging your
Oh, that's
band.
okay.
Let me do that again. There we go.
Cool. But yeah, so I learned that over the years. Like I don't, we used to play the Parker House, and every hour a new group of kids come in. You'll get a kick out of this. So every set we play Rosalita. I mean, the song's like 7
Oh
minutes.
yeah.
And we're all, at the Parker House years ago. Every Parker House gig was a pound and a drink gig. So we started doing in the third set. I look at my watch and I go, "Hey guys, we're gonna do Rosalita quadruple speed, like a punk version."
Oh, I love it.
3.5 minutes. The fucking kids would go nuts. And my old sax player would be like, it was just hilarious. You know, 'cause
Oh, you played in that basement down there?
and the chaos of the stupidness just was like went over like,
That's great.
you know, you have a fun drunk, like anything works as long as you're having fun with them.
In the early 90s, I carried someone out of the Parker house because he couldn't walk, who is now a sitting judge.
I might even know who it is.
You might, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that definitely God, that's took on an entity of it. They don't even, I mean, I shouldn't say this, but it doesn't matter who plays there, it's packed no matter what.
Right.
yeah, that
And
is a
it's,
true
That's actually one
institution.
place I haven't played yet, honestly.
you know what I like about,
And the Boathouse. I haven't played the Boathouse either.
Mm,
you know, if you think about it in the scene and the way music's going, I mean, and Billy Corgan touched on this 20 years ago, saying music, there's going to be nothing tangible. There's going to be no like CD. You know, we would buy a record and be like, oh, I'm going to read the lyrics. Like music's like in the air now. It's like, so if you think about it, like I feel bad for young kids that they get 9,000 streams and they made minus 32 cents.
Mm.
So
yeah,
if you think about it, if there's no big industry, so there's no big billion-dollar music industry anymore, what is, you know, shit rolls downhill. What does that do down here?
Mm.
So thank God in New Jersey, we still have a vibrant cover band scene.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, there's people that still, but you know, what's going to happen in 10 to 20 years when all of us are either too old to go out or we're not here anymore?
Mm.
You know, it's like, I never care to be too negative, but I always do think that. I'm just like, what's in the future for young musicians where, because, you know, the big business determines the little business, sort of. You know,
Right.
like when I was younger and touring with Typo Negative, you know, I mean, I used to, I mentioned in the book, I delivered mail to Monty Connor, the friggin' A&R guy that signed all these bands, Machine Head, Nickelback.
Right.
And I'd see him every day going, dude, get me out of this fucking job. You know, like, sign our band, you know. And
I
now,
love it.
is there an A&R guy now?
Yeah.
Are they going to take an artist like Billy Joel and let him, you know,
No.
flounder for 3 albums? Like, there's going to be no classic artists anymore. It's crazy.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I mean, now my wife drives me crazy when she listens to songs in the car. First of all, I don't really like her taste in music, but when she's listening to a song that she likes, when she's done with it, she's done with it. Now, let's say it's a 3-minute song, she might go a minute and a half. Next song, and the cover band guys are telling me they're singing the song. Everybody's like la da da da. When they get to the chorus, now they're interested. They only know the good parts.
But to be honest with you,
because
like
they're skipping through songs. They're not even listening to the whole thing carefully.
I agree. Like, we don't play Here I Go Again that much anymore, but we used to all the time. And I remember, you know, and I'm looking and kids are like, and I'd go, you'll know it soon. I don't know. And I,
the whole beginning ballad part, yeah.
I go, hold on, you're gonna know this song, but I'm sure. And then once we go, fucking
Here I go again.
and they look at me like, oh,
then they know.
The weirdest thing about playing in front of like a Park House, very young crowd, it's the equivalent of me doing this podcast like this the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right. Yeah.
So the whole time I'm basically like, it's this equivalent. I'm not in the moment. I'm worried about my phone. So I'm going to videotape this. Right now I'm videotaping. Wait. Sorry.
This is a Guitar Tales first, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the young generation right now. Ready? Let's go.
It's going to go viral.
Yeah,
So when we're done here, I'm going to post this on my story.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
I don't. This is all I
But you're
care
not
about.
listening to us at all. You're not hearing us.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
they're looking at themselves. So it's more like a kind of thing like this. Like,
Oh, there you go.
so you're
That's
singing the whole time. Sometimes I grab kids' phones, or I get my phone and I go phone fight. You know,
Yeah.
like, you know.
I love it.
But it's just, and that's been happening for like the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
You know?
When I was in the wedding band, there was just the big camera on the shoulder thing. You know, I had that
Oh
guy.
yeah.
Videotape.
But it's
right.
better than like everyone. Like everyone's in
know.
their own little-
I know.
Yeah,
Everybody's in their
I
own
know.
little world.
And this year, the younger crowd has been awesome. Like they're so into music.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It's like
good.
really good to see. Like
They like
they
the old
love
shit.
everything.
We're getting a real mixed bag of people coming out to see our shows too. That
Great.
it's not just the old people anymore. It's a real mixed bag. the book launch party is happening soon. I'm going to get this edited and put out before it happens.
Beautiful.
July 28th, correct?
Yes.
And
That
it's going
is
to happen.
very
Where's it
soon.
happening?
At the Asbury Ale House from 7 to 9.
Love that
So
place.
we are doing like a pre-launch. So if anyone sees this and wants to purchase it, if you make it, you'll get a copy. I feel funny saying it, but everyone's like, "You're gonna sign it?" I'm like, "Why not?"
Yeah.
Be a
Yeah, why
half-ass
not?
celebrity, right? And
Yeah.
we're gonna do like an interview. So everyone involved in the book is gonna be interviewed by my buddy Sandy, and then I'm gonna do like a little acoustic set of songs like you never hear me play, basically.
Well,
So
that's
it'll be like
fantastic.
a very, something different. Like
Love it.
for the Jersey Shore, it's not like something like this happens ever.
And of course, I'm working, so that's that. I'll be up in Morris Plains. If I was in Howell, it'd be a different story, Joe. But if I'm up in Morris Plains
Yeah, no, that's okay.
until August the 8th, and then
I'm going to
I'll-
look at that.
who knows?
Maybe I'll be able to go. I'm going to take a
Cool.
look.
Yeah.
I think, it seems like RSVP wise, like I told them today, I'm thinking between 100 and 150 people. I could be wrong. I don't know.
That's fantastic.
But a lot of people seem like interested. We sold almost 100 books already.
Oh wow.
And honestly, like obviously, listen, the second I did this book, I texted my accountant and I go, I'm going to lose my shirt and it's like, I write this off, right? Like I immediately went into the business part of it because I really didn't do this book to make money. I did it for the hell of it, just to say I have a book. And also, I have a friend that wrote like 2 or 3 books and they're not that good. And he's been getting public speaking gigs
Oh,
for
there
a
you
nice,
go.
nice chunk of change. And when I did that energy business, I was actually one of the people that went up and like told my story and cracked jokes and I love that. So
Right.
I would love to. I actually have 2 books.
So look for
already.
Joe Baracata on another TED Talks.
You
Yeah,
never
that's
know.
right.
Listen,
Yeah.
like
how to take care of your bald head, how to get the right shaving cream and whatnot.
You know what it is, guys? Like,
There
don't
you
you feel
go.
this way? Like, to me, reinventing yourself is what keeps you young.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yes, I want to be the musician my whole life, but would I want to be only the musician? So, it's silly now. So when I do a gig, they can put like author and, all that kind of stuff.
Right,
Whatever.
right.
So,
I love that. Yeah,
like
that's
I'm
true.
literally,
Yeah.
my brother, by the way, has about 7 or 8 books out. He writes like B-movie horror stuff. And he's
I love it.
prolific.
I love it.
But see, I self-published this.
That's-
That's what most people do now. I did it all the legit way. It's published and all that. My brother does with publishing. Like, going with a publisher is no different than signing a record label. You might get a little advance. You don't have any control. Like, I have a built-in audience, so it makes sense for me to like see if some of my fans and friends would want to buy it. It'll eventually be available on Amazon and all that stuff. But
Well, I want a copy and I want a signed copy. I don't know how we're going to make that happen.
definitely get you guys a copy. Yeah,
Yeah, I want
absolutely.
a copy. And
Me
I'll
too.
gladly pay for it.
Me
Thank
too. No, he had someone
Steve
write
Rosen,
the intro to
sorry,
his
Steve
book. I know
Rosen was on the
Yeah.
Dave and I purchased the book and he was so taken back by that you didn't have to buy it, but that I'm really happy that you did. And it was like
Yeah.
it
both
meant
did.
so much to him.
Well, I'll tell you this.
It did.
I'm very honored that you guys would buy it. And the industry we're in, everyone wants a freebie.
I know.
So it's like,
Oh God.
think
No,
about it.
no, I don't like that
If
shit.
someone put out a CD, like, of course I'd buy it from it
Right.
or whatever. You just
I don't even want you to mail it. I'll just
yeah, we'll get
send you the money
go
and
online.
I'll get a copy somehow.
Yeah,
I don't want you
absolutely.
sticking it
We'll
in.
get a copy.
We'll do it in person or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, like, I got a few books at first, just to make sure that the print company did it right.
Right.
And the cover's cool as shit, ain't it?
Yeah,
Like,
looks
I
great.
love the cover of it.
And there's a
Oh, we
handsome
didn't get
picture on the
into,
back.
Did we talk?
I'm ordering it now.
Did we talk about why it's called Memoir of a Half-Assed Celebrity?
Not exactly, but I figured.
So the first time I played the Boathouse, I walked in there. I was playing solo.
Yeah.
It was packed. Boathouse back in this is like 2002, maybe, packed. I
Yeah.
set up. I go up to the bartender. I probably had a brutal Benny accent back then, and he's like, "Hey man, nice meeting you." And he goes, "How's it feel to be a half-assed celebrity?" I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Your name's in the marquee." He goes, "Everyone's gonna fucking know who you are now." And he walked away. Like, it was so nonchalant.
Oh, I love that. That's
I
a
look at
great
the marquee,
story.
I'm like, fuck, they spelled it right. Dude, that was the last time my name was spelled correctly.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I pulled up the clubs. It says Joe Baracata, Joe Baracata,
Oh yeah,
Joe Badakadi.
yeah.
Oh, I like that
Everyone
one.
spend a second to maybe spell the fucking thing right.
With the Smoking Jackets is spelled without a G and a little apostrophe. Smoking.
Wait, how was that,
Jackets.
Scott?
Oh,
So
right.
I think one of the highlights as far as marquees go for me was sitting on the beach and seeing the plane fly by
Yeah.
with dragging the logo of the Smoking Jackets behind it, and
That's
that we were
good
playing
stuff.
at Nardi's or something, or wherever the hell we were.
Years ago, my daughter was a year old, so she was born. So 2003, I was still like starting the band, acoustic stuff, and me and my wife take our daughter to the beach. Kidding around, you hear a plane. I go, Jill, watch, it's going to say Joe Baracata tonight.
Oh, I love that.
It starts getting closer. Holy shit! The camera we had, we were like, it really, it's the Parker House used to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, seeing that, when you're not used to seeing your name or something like that, it's just wild.
Yeah.
It is like,
It
you
is.
can't help but smile. I mean, that's all part of the allure of being a musician, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I skimmed the book, but I want to really get into the whole book from
Oh, me
beginning
too.
to end. and
I'm going to
really
definitely do it.
pay attention.
Yes.
Read the whole thing.
Yes, I will too.
I
And
was
it's
a little
been
pressed for
wonderful.
time. I wanted to at least
Yeah.
read some of the book before the show because that would be totally unprofessional.
It's probably like, I mean, I reread it again, and obviously I know it. It took me like 3 hours.
Yeah.
If I didn't know the book, it might take me 4 to 5.
Right.
And obviously, I didn't read it one shot, but some people have it.
So I think we'll end the show with Ron Bumblefoot. That seems
We have
fitting. Because it's the law.
It is the law. Well, this was fabulous.
Oh, here's a fun fact. His second album, Hands, we bartered. So he produced our self-produced Boiler Room CD.
Yeah.
When he signed with Shrapnel Records, they gave him, his advance was 2 ADAT tapes. So he had like a 16 track.
Right.
So in Staten Island, we had a double studio,
Mhm.
rehearsal room, put all this shit in one room. He recorded. So that was a cool thing. Like, I'm playing in front of Ron. Like, Ron's a man.
That is, yeah.
And, but I got to know him, and he was so cool. He produced it, and my drummer played on a few tracks on his album, Hands.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like, like a little tidbit there that most people don't know.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Great guy. We had fun with talking to him on the show.
Great dude.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. So this was your actual Guitar Tales episode. Joe is part of the round table when we talked about Van Halen, the Van Halen show. We had a great discussion there. And because I was so blown away watching him play Van Halen, I invited him to come on the show.
That's
Guess
right.
what I got to learn? I never played Girl Gone Bad or I'm the One.
Girl Gone Bad, great song.
Those
Great song.
Johnny Vines texts me. He goes, "We got to do Girl Gone Bad." I go, "You don't have to twist my arm." Done.
Yeah, that's a great song.
And I never played I'm the One. I played it on drums, but
yeah, that's a classic. That should probably be in your repertoire.
You know, Eddie did that in one take.
Wow.
Like,
not shocked.
Insane. When you listen, it's funny. I've been listening to it, and obviously we know the song. Like, Eddie is completely in one ear. It's so weird.
Mm.
So when the song starts out, I'm like, "Is something wrong?"
Right.
And then, I'm like, "Oh, I forget." Like, Ted Templeton did the greatest guitar player of all time. He decided to put in one speaker.
I know. It's crazy, right? Crazy stuff.
It is.
Well, gentlemen, that about wraps it up. It's about an hour and change. And
Thank you,
Joe
guys.
will maybe Dave will see at the book signing, but I'll definitely get my book. And if Dave goes to the book signing, I'll give Dave the money. And then,
Ooh.
from all the lucrative money we make on this show, I'll be able to buy the book.
Or half a book, maybe.
A couple of pages.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Well,
right.
thank you guys. I had a great time, man. That was a great.
Same here.
Yeah, it goes very quick, doesn't it?
That was a lot of
It
fun.
does. It does.
See you soon, Joe. Take care
All
of
right,
yourself.
Take care.
guys.
And we'll see you next time.
So
Guitar
much.
Tales.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Ron, roll it.
Hello, I'm Ron Bumblefoot Thole, and you're watching Guitar Tales.